So we are inside the exhibition of Camille Henrot, and is an exhibition which consists of 4 pieces which Camille developed and conceived for this occasion, so are all new commission works. The title of the exhibition is If Wishes Were Horses, and is a title connected to an old proverb, and where usually is used in a sort of repressive desire. I mean, that very often is used connected to an idea of repressive desire, while in this case is much more considered in a more optimistic and positive way, as Ernest Bloch in the principle of hope considered the importance of the wishes, of the idea of the desire and fantasy to able to transform reality. So as very often Camille does, she's manipulating archetypes and also playing with stereotypes. So in this case she's addressing power relations, power structure, and this struggle between fantasy and reality. So it's again connected to the title, and following a binary structure. So focusing on this struggle in movement and the possibility of a reversal of power. So this is also the idea that Michel Foucault had of power. No, power is a set of relations, so it's based on this sort of binary structures between 2 polarities, and resistance can happen with power. So resistance coexists with power. The central piece of the exhibition is this big installation titled Tug of War, and is 15 meters long French braid made of metal chains, ropes, and rubber tubes. I think the symbol of the French braid is very interesting, because it's related to a double cultural appropriation. Of course, the braid, the French braid, on one end is connected to French colonialism in Africa, but at the same time, the first time the term French braid was used was in an American magazine, and is related a bit to the stereotype of elegance and sophistication, so a bit like how Americans look at French, you know, the idea of French elegance. But I think, as all the works of Camille, also this piece is really playing a lot on this ambivalence of interpretation. So on one end you can read it as a sort of gesture of care, like the braid is, no? So the relation between also mother and daughter, but at the same time the fact that she's using this type of material, so each thread is made of chains, kind of oppressive, very kind of materials that you connect to a certain idea of violence, then brings the interpretation of the piece towards to another different idea, which is again the idea of, you know, of oppression. No? Also, you can read it also of oppression of women throughout the history. But at the same time, is interesting that there is this tension again between two polarities, and the braid is suspended. So this idea of suspension, of waiting, is also you can also connect to the idea, to the figure of the masochist. The other sculptures in the exhibition are in a way, through the titles, connected to the power of words. This one is titled I Say, and is made of punching ball and aluminium, so it's a kind of in-between shape, in between an arm and a leg, and then you have this pointing finger, which is again connected to the idea of judgment, you know, of power, of this idea of authority, of control, and so the idea of course of suspension is also present in a different way in the other sculpture, which is titled Wait What, where we see a sort of exhausted animal, can resemble a cat, the figure on top of this sort of cactus kind of flint. And I think also the idea of exhaustion, of being exhausted, is also very often perceived in a negative way, but according, for example, to Gilles Deleuze, who wrote a very interesting essay about it, exhaustion is also a positive feeling, because it means that you have done all you were capable of in doing something and so it means that then it open up new actions. It's something which is open up. So the film presented in the exhibition is titled Tuesday, and is juxtaposing footage of racing horses being groomed, brushed before and after the training, with scenes of these Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters, and I think it's an interesting kind of metaphor, the jiu-jitsu, because is a form of fight where the roles, let's say between the dominant and the submissive, are continuously shifting, and is as we see, the bodies are always like very like entangled between each other, and so you can see as a metaphor also for the braiding, no, of these threads that are totally always interweaving each other, and so I think with the video, Camille was interested to use in a way jiu-jitsu to translate power structures into a sporting struggle, no, with this kind of open output, and also the fact that it's shot in slow motion. This idea of competition, which is in the nature of the jiu-jitsu fight and also of the race horses, is in a way neutralized. So the movements are in a way are kind of slowed down, so it provides also this very kind of also sensual aestheticization of beauty. So again, you have this ambivalence way of looking at that, because you can see both as a violent act, but at the same time as a kind of gestures of care, like as they are embracing